This is the Snelheid Tyro. Tyro is like their entry-level model, and it means beginner in Latin. Snelheid is a Dutch word meaning speed, and this bike is all about speed. It's actually probably the most fastest accelerating electric bike I've been on. Just a super high torque Mac motor, 1,000 watts nominal. And so again, depending on your geography, in California at this time, 1,000 watts is legal for electric bikes, but in a lot of places it's sort of questionable. So I'm listing it as kind of a class 2. You know, it does go only up to 20 miles per hour, and you know, some other motor specs are kind of wishy-washy, but I think the peak is 1,500. The bike is pretty sweet. You know, it's relatively lightweight. It's like 47 pounds. Considering the battery pack on this is an impressive 37 volt, 12 amp hour capacity. You know, that's definitely a step above average, and it's sending out a lot of amps. So you really feel it, and it's just wound to be high torque. I like that a lot. The frame is steel, so high tensile steel, designed to kind of, I don't know, like a lot of city bikes or road bikes, it gives you a little bit of vibration dampening and a little bit of flex, but it still feels really rigid and just, you know, performance, like immediate response when you're pedaling. I like that. And it does come in like a bunch of different colors, kind of looking at this like platinum, metallic look right now. But yeah, having a couple different sizes means that you can fit your body type, but it does only come in this traditional sort of diamond high step frame. It's really just a customized bike that the founder, Tony, is adapting his system to, and that's primarily this box here. You can see this nice kind of a carbon fiber plating system around the batteries. Inside there's 4 of them in there, and then you've got a little kind of a controller unit on top, and all the wiring goes in, and there's some extra wires down here. This is actually like a kill switch, so you can take that and no one can really get your bike going. They can't turn it on or anything, and then they're just left with a really heavy kind of city bike. So I do like that. I also like these channels where the cable sort of runs through and goes up and connects to the battery pack in the front. It's pretty good weight distribution. You look at the motor back here, it's like a 9-pound motor, like a 12-pound battery pack. You know, you spread the weight out and kind of keep it low. That's ideal. I like the look of it too. You've got these sort of V-shaped deep dish rims, sort of arrow, 14 gauge spokes on the front, 13 on the rear. So the lower the number with spoke gauge means they're a little bit stronger. So those are designed to take the forces of high acceleration and impact as you're speeding along city streets. There isn't suspension on this bike. As you might notice, there's no suspension fork or anything. But again, the steel frame helps a little bit. You can always replace this seat post with like a suspension post if you felt that was an issue. But if you're on smooth tarmac, for a lot of people, it's not an issue. And you get the, you know, just the maneuverability, being able to kind of like smear this thing if you want to, a little bit of power sliding. You see the bars are below the seat right now. It's set up for me. I'm like 5'9", and I've got like kind of a face forward, aggressive body position is how I would describe it, with these like a little bit of riser bars going on in the front. Definitely appreciate this. It's a fun bike to ride around, and the tires are e-bike specific. They're Schwalbe Energizer Plus. They've got Green Guard, which is sort of this like extra thick rubber that helps you reduce the possibility of getting flats, because you know that's a real bummer when you're out there. You've got a little bit of extra weight to haul home. And there isn't quick release on the front. There's, you know, changing the flat and everything means you'd have to bring along like a little tool kit, deal with that out there. Sort of hardcore. We've got these just standard sort of like linear pull mechanical brakes, front and rear. There's no like motor inhibitor built into this thing because it's only twist throttle. So you want to go, if you want support, you just twist that throttle, the bike takes off. And that keeps it simple. It keeps it kind of pure, and it really responsive feeling, kind of immediate. A lot of times with pedal sensors, it's like you either have to push really hard because it's torque sensor, or it goes too fast when you don't want it to because it's a cadence sensor. So I'm cool with this solution, and it kind of simplifies the thing. Definitely keeps it, I don't know, it's just kind of pure in that sense. The bike does cost quite a bit, in my opinion, and it's $2,300 for something that it's a frame that's pretty stock, that's been, you know, expanded. It's been refined into something just really unique, and I appreciate that. At the same time, I know a lot of people who are on Endless Sphere or these other places that want to build your own electric bike, and so you know, this is a way to do it and get a little bit of a warranty and get some support and support Tony. You know, he's a good guy. He's been doing this for several years now. But yeah, I mean, it costs a little bit more. And is this exactly how you'd want the battery? I think this is a really good solution. But, you know, the first question is like, oh, are you going to hit your feet on this? Like, what's the deal? I haven't when I've been riding. I did bump my knee a little bit when I got off the bike and kind of like, I was just sort of like standing over the frame at a stop sign. Kind of keep that in mind. I actually noticed that my legs didn't go too far forward when I was pedaling. So it's not like your leg's right here next to it. It's sort of brought back. If you have pants or something, it could come into contact with that, but hasn't actually been the problem that I think a lot of people feel like it will be when they see pictures or something. Just kind of getting me back to the point of, you know, how much do you want to do to get this kind of performance? Are you willing to pay for it? What compromises are you willing to make? This isn't the kind of bike you can really get anywhere, you know, from like major brands or something. It's something that's very custom, and I can really appreciate just how pure it is in a lot of ways. So, you know, enough of that. I'm just kind of ranting, and it's all about feelings at that point. But I love the sort of the reinforced, these are steel sort of torque arms on both sides just to handle that incredible power coming out of the motor. And then there's this channel right here, and there's even some internal routing going on in the cables. Again, the battery pack, it's kind of like the primary focus for me in a lot of ways because there's so much going on, a lot of custom work inside, but it's also, you know, it's not removable. So I think I'd probably be parking this inside. You know, it does get wet and snowy and stuff in Chicago. Do you always keep this inside, Tony?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay. Have you been in wet conditions? Like, how does it...
Oh, yeah, I've been in downpours, a little bit of snow.
Snow and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was wondering about the cables and stuff, and what I was noticing is that your packs, the lithium polymer batteries, are sort of self-sealed. They're inside. They've got another wrap around them. They've got their cables, so it hasn't been an issue for you?
The batteries themselves are sealed and encapsulated, and very little water actually penetrates the box. I've taken it apart after being caught in a rainstorm, and there was just a few drops.
Yeah, I mean, you've custom engineered like all this stuff to work for you. That was like how this started, right? You wanted something great.
And what works I kept, and what didn't work I improved or changed.
Yeah, I noticed that like the carbon plate on the bottom, like it's solid where water would go. Like, you know, if water sprays up from your wheel,
It acts as a fender.
It kind of acts as a fender. Yeah, so actually like one of those mud guards, so it doesn't like come up and hit you in the face when you're riding around. Do you want to tell me anything else that's just special about your systems here while we're looking at the bike?
One of the innovative features is I mounted external balance ports, which allows you to check the individual cell voltages and also externally, and also you're able to balance the cells individually by plugging in just half one side at a time, and then attaching the balance lead.
I like that. Yeah, it's neat what we were able to do. We were at the shop earlier and looking at the voltage and stuff. You were saying this battery can be charged in just a few hours, right? Like 3 hours?
Yeah, the lithium polymer batteries are able to take a faster charge, a higher charge rate.
Yeah.
So
it's like the higher C rate, so faster discharge, faster charge?
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The higher C rate, these are rated at about 50 C.
Wow.
So they can accept the charge and they can discharge much more power much more current than I actually pull from them.
Very cool. And this is like the controller right here. So
That's electronics controller, yeah.
Electronics. Okay, so and that's external to the battery, probably because there wasn't a lot of room, but also it keeps it cooler, I imagine?
Right, having it outside keeps it cool, but also being on this side versus like on the bottom, it's protected from rocks and debris. And
that's one of the things with the stealth bikes. People are like, what? The controller is like right there, right in front of the front wheel. I haven't heard anyone say, oh, mine got busted, but I think that's a smart place to put it. And just, I know you kind of custom designing this and trying to keep it slim, keeping it out of the way.
Yeah, and the box is built around the frame rather than on top of it. So the width of the tube itself, it becomes part of the dimension of the box. So if I mount it on top, it would be up here.
Okay.
Versus down here.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the lithium polymer batteries. And I think I went through all the specs and stuff, but you know, I was appreciating, I like these kind of frames. They're fun to ride around on even without electric power, but it just goes. I mean, it goes so fast. There's a real sense of speed and acceleration. So I'm gonna hop on it and we're gonna do some riding so you can actually see this thing in action. But thank you, it's been fun to check it out. And depending on the terrain, I have noticed there's a little bit of kind of rattling going on with the battery box. It feels pretty secure, and I think it's designed to have a little bit of flex, but I wanted to kind of demonstrate that. Got good cadence. Okay, heads up, heads up. Had a bit of a moment back there. Actually was turning the corner and, you know, I'm trying to use the twist throttle kind of delicately. It's variable speed, so the more you twist it, of course, the more power you get. This is a serious machine. I was turning and kind of, you know, pulled a little bit too much, and I almost felt that front wheel like lifting or getting closer to that sliding out moment. So I approached this bike with a lot of respect. And this is their entry-level model. Again, the Tyro, that's kind of limited on top speed and stuff. So just keep that in mind when you're going for this. You get a lot, but I think you have to respect it, or you know, you could go down pretty hard. So being that this only has one speed, if you run out of batteries, you know, you're kind of pushing. You're pushing a little bit more at the low speeds like I am right now. And then when you get up to higher speeds, you're spinning a little bit faster, but it's actually geared pretty high. So you can still pedal along at 20 miles per hour comfortably, and I really like that. So this is kind of how it looks. Super, super quiet at low speeds. Now I'm gonna just juice it. We got a car coming behind us, and I can just take off and get up to their speed pretty quickly, you know? Almost immediately at 20 miles per hour, and that helps you to feel more comfortable in traffic, I find, because you can kind of hold your own. I think cars respect you a little bit more. So let me show you the motor again doing that. Relatively quiet, but just, you know, fluid, powerful. And it is wound specifically for high torque on this hub motor. So that's very cool. I'll do a 0 to top speed again here, looking at the display panel. There we go. Super fast. Whew. I think that's about it. You know, this bike isn't perfect. We mentioned the box. You're kind of getting off of it. Just be careful for your knees like that. They're kind of hand built by Tony, and you know, I think the price is a little bit high given some of what's on this. If you're a tinkerer, you could do a bit of it yourself, but to make a custom battery box and everything, and then to think about running the wires along the frame and all that takes effort for sure. And you do have a little bit of support with this guy. He founded his company in like 2014, so it's been a couple years, and I actually met with him last year and saw his bikes, and you know, he's got a website and he's doing his best to kind of offer something special in the space. So I definitely want to give a nod to that, but also communicate that this is a higher power bike, that this is a smaller company. It's definitely more in the hobbyist space, and I think that's just important. It's another consideration for you while you're checking out electric bikes. So, you know, back at the website, I've got a category for like city bikes and speed bikes and stuff like that, if you're looking. And yeah, I feel like this would be one. If you're in Chicago, you might even see Tony cruising around on the streets Maybe a good bike for like a bike messenger or something, but just kind of keep in mind the legal aspects of riding something like this. So for the full written review, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com, and especially with something like this, with that extra power, just ride safe. Cheers.